Anxiety is a horrible illness to have, and it's one of the most common in mental health. And here's why most people can't beat it. If you don't know what something is and you don't know how it works, how can you ever beat it? Correct answer, you can't. So inside this training, I'm going to teach you what anxiety is, what causes it, and how to beat it. Pretty simple, right? Let's start with the first one. Anxiety is a thought process. Hey, if you're loving this content, if you're getting good value, go ahead and like and subscribe. I want to make sure you get all of our trainings. See, your thought processes are either functional or dysfunctional. If they're functional, they're fun. They're working for you. If they're dysfunctional, which means not fun, they're working against you. So you have dysfunctional thought patterns. Now, the way you handle it is kind of the way Buddha handled it. You sit there and you listen to your thoughts. See which ones are functional, keep those. See which ones are dysfunctional, are causing you anxiety. You'll know because you'll feel it, and get rid of those. It's actually that simple. See, anxiety breaks down into three basic areas: psychological, biological, and blended. It's always one of those three. So the key is, which one do you have? Now, in the 90 percentile, it's psychological. So let's look at those features and see what causes that first. For psychological ones, it's typical day-to-day worries. And what happens is you get really good at worrying. How do you get good at something? You practice it over and over and over again. See, an anxiety disorder isn't like, well, some people have anxiety and some people don't. And the people that don't have it don't have an anxiety disorder. And the people that do have an anxiety disorder. No, it's on a very long, wide scale. And everybody's some version of anxious, right? We all have anxiety at some level. Now, when it gets from the fun to the dysfunctional part, it starts interfering with your daily life. You have challenges sleeping. It's causing gastrointestinal distress and stomach problems. You're getting headaches. You can't sleep at night. You start getting brain fog and things like that. You start getting, snitty, snooty, snotty, just nasty to people because you just, you're worn out. You're on your last nerve. That's when it becomes an anxiety disorder. It's interfering with your daily life. So you practice these thoughts. You got to de-practice them. Catch them, interrupt them, and then eliminate them. Just stop thinking about it. How do you do that? One, by just not thinking about it. Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? By not thinking about it. Or if you have trouble doing that, because it is sometimes hard to break away, you think about something else. You could do anything. You could sit there reading soup can labels. And if you do that for a couple of minutes, or you get into a good TV show or something like that, or you go for a nice walk and think about anything. Oh, look, the leaves are coming out finally this spring. Whatever, get your mind off of it for just a few minutes. Then it's easier to beat and to move on. The next thing is you got to start de-stressing. What's happening is your anxiety is going from your brain into your body. You're starting to tense up in your body. You've got to untense the body, relax the body. So go for a nice walk, get a nice massage, whatever is relaxing for you. A lot of people think they just relax in front of the TV. TV is actually meant to be stimulating. You do something like playing with your dog, or maybe you do art or something like that. Whatever's relaxing for you. I like a nice relaxing cup of tea. Whatever it is for you that's relaxing, do that thing and do it several times during the day, because anxiety goes up and up and up during the day. And what you want it to do is to go up a little bit and then you knock it back down. It tries to get up again and you knock it back down. It goes up again and you knock it back down. See how you're keeping it at a nice low level? That's de-stressing. When you let it go all the way to the top and you say, oh, I'm going to have a nice cup of tea at the end of the day, it only goes part way down. And that's where you start the next day. And pretty soon you're off the charts. No. Keep knocking it down several times a day. That's my best tip for you. Now, we said it was psychological, biological, or blended. What's biological? Well, you could be low in certain neurotransmitters. That's what most of your head meds do, your psychotropics. So you take something like Paxil, Prozac, Zoloft, they've got all kinds of new ones, right? But they're all things that are like SSRI, serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. What does that do? It stops your body from eliminating serotonin so that it builds up. Because it's putting serotonin in, but it's also taking serotonin out. I eliminate the part where it takes it out. Like a bathtub, when you plug it up the drain, the tub starts to fill. So all these meds are plugging up the drain. And they can do that for dopamine. They can do that for norepinephrine. They can do that, for all your basic feel-good chemicals. Serotonin is the classic one, but there's other ones. So that's how they deal with the biological piece. If it's a neurotransmitter. Other times, you're just getting so stressed, you're pumping adrenaline. You know what one of the best things for that is? Ashwagandha root. You take some ashwagandha root, and again, I'm not giving any medical advice here. Check in with your doctor. That calms down the adrenals. If you did check in with your doctor, and he said, hey, I can't prescribe ashwagandha root, they'd make me rip my diploma off the wall, roll it into a ball and throw it away because I got to feed the pharmaceutical companies. So I'm going to give you a pharmaceutical. So I'm going to give you something like propranolol, and that's a beta blocker. And what it does is it blocks the adrenaline from triggering your body and creating, this chain reaction of stress. So that takes care of the biological piece. But I'm telling you, work on the psychological piece because remember, biological, psychological are blended. It's almost always psychological, and when it's not, it's almost always biological and psychological. It is exceedingly rare. Matter of fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a case where you just had something going on biologically where you could not be stressed. I mean, it'd have to be something like, I think it's called Cushing's disease, where you're just like pushing adrenaline 24/7 till you're like having adrenal exhaustion. That would cause stress without any psychological component. But again, exceedingly rare. Probably wouldn't account for 1% of all anxiety cases. Hey, check out my Life Transformation Academy. We'll make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. We hit the 3 main areas of life so you can be successful across the board. Go ahead and check for it in the link in the description below. It's got all my best new trainings all in one place for you. So, always go back to your thought system and stress reduction. Now, I could do an entire training on how to beat anxiety, but this will give you a great start. Here's your bonus tip on how to beat anxiety. Anxiety, you think, where does it come from? Well, like we talked about, you're stressing quite a bit. You may be being too hard on yourself. That's the first place that it comes from. The second place is life might be being too hard on you. Maybe you've got a really hard life. Now, I know some things you can change, some things you can't, but change the ones that you can. Look at how you can de-stress your life. Can you get rid of negative people? Can you get rid of your negative job? Can you get rid of negative relationships? Can you get rid of negative things that are going on in your life? Can you make up more free time for yourself? I had one client, they sat in front of me and they said, yeah, I'm doing this and this and this and this and this. And I said, well, you know what you got to do? You got to take like 5 minutes, like 3 times a day, and you just got to take a break and get out there. And I'm going to teach you certain practices. It's only going to take you like 5 minutes, again, 3 times a day. And you're just going to do these things. And we're going to knock down that stress. And by the time you come back to see me next week, you're going to notice a significant reduction. And they said, Paul, you don't understand. I've got this and this and this and this. Where am I ever going to find 15 minutes in my day? I am completely booked. You don't understand. I said, well, I do understand. And I've been very busy. I've had times in my life where it feels exactly like that. But I got a question for you. If in a 24-hour day, you haven't got 15 minutes for yourself, why are you doing the other 23 hours and 45 minutes? Ask yourself this question. When I look at my life, where am I in it? I mean, are you a human being or a human doing? Right now, you're a human doing because you just told me with a sincere face, I believed you when you said it, that you can't find 15 minutes for yourself, which means you can't be found anywhere in your life. That's not a life worth living. You got to shift things around. You got to make some serious changes. I'm not wondering why you have anxiety. I mean, you're working the perfect formula for it. Make the changes you need to make. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're simple, sometimes they're a little harder, and sometimes they're wicked hard, but nothing is harder than living your entire life with anxiety.